He did what they said was impossible. Yet again, while Democrats shut down the government over transgender programs in the Balkans, Trump just secured peace in the Middle East. And Hamas, they're disarming. Hostages are coming home. Arab nations are lining up behind America. And even Chris Cuomo had to applaud. But here's what really has the establishment terrified. This isn't just about Gaza. Trump's using this victory to corner China on Ukraine, revolutionize global energy markets, and restore American dominance worldwide. And world leaders are organizing to nominate him for the Nobel Peace Prize. The man they tried to destroy now is the most powerful leader on earth. And let me show you how he did it. As many investors have seen recently, exploration companies are looking south. With U.S. policy becoming friendlier toward domestic supply of critical metals, U.S. copper prices have soared after recent threats of a 50% import tariff, highlighting the value of domestic sources. Could District Copper Corp be lining up for that kind of role? The company recently secured a U.S. market listing, and that move alone has points to a bigger vision ahead. And District Copper is advancing its copper projects, positioning itself as a gateway for supplying the copper that powers U.S. infrastructure, clean energy, and advanced technology. With copper hitting 16-month highs, rising supply demands, and growing uncertainty due to the potential closure of one of the world's largest mines in Indonesia, domestic production is more important than ever. Against this backdrop, and with a new U.S. listing, District Copper Corp could be setting the stage for further growth and potential expansion into key U.S. states renowned for strategic minerals. The company is building its future around one of the most essential metals of our time, positioning itself for what comes next. Check them out in the link in the description, and thank you to District Copper Corp for making today's video possible. So Trump just delivered the ultimatum that changes everything. Watch him tell Hamas exactly what's going to happen. He didn't negotiate. He didn't even compromise. It was just pure American strength. Watch.
Mr. President, on Gaza, how long will it take Hamas to disarm, and can you guarantee that is going to happen?
Well, they're going to disarm, and because they said they were going to disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them.
How will you do that?
I don't have to explain that to you. But if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. They know I'm not playing games. Okay? Now, we did something monumental. We got the hostages back. That was the first thing we had to do. Above all else, get the hostages back. Now, they misrepresented because we were told they had 26, 24 of dead hostages, if we can use those terms. And it seems as though they don't have that because we're talking about a much lesser number. But that's a very tough subject. I want them back. That's what they said. I want them back. Also, they said they were going to disarm. And initially speaking, they needed, they did take out a couple of gangs that were very bad, very, very bad gangs, and they did take them out, and they killed a number of gang members. And that didn't bother me much, to be honest with you. That's okay. We had a couple of very bad gangs. It's no different than other countries. Like Venezuela sent their gangs into us, and we took care of those gangs. We have Washington, D.C. is one of the safest cities in the country. It was one of the worst cities in the country if you go back just a little while ago, right? Now it's safe. You can walk to work. Isn't it nice? But we have told them we want to disarm, and they will disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently. But they will disarm. Do you understand me?
Yes. You say
because
quickly.
Everyone says, oh, well, they won't disarm. They will disarm. And I spoke to Hamas, and I said, you're going to disarm, right? Yes, sir, we're going to disarm. That's what they told me. They will disarm or we will disarm them. Got it?
I absolutely love the backbone of President Trump. He said they will disarm or we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently, in the way Trump says it. And that's not diplomacy, guys. That's victory through strength. And even Chris Cuomo couldn't hide his amazement. Watch this stunning moment where he applauds Trump and torches the left for refusing to give him credit. Take a look.
First, the easy part. I didn't think it was going to happen. Bravo to America. Bravo to the Trump administration.
Okay, let me know in the comments. I thought it was going to happen. I just, I was hoping it would be sooner, but, Trump knocked it out of the park yet again. Let me know if you guys agree that we all knew Trump was going to secure this victory.
Administration. Bravo to President Trump, especially something I really didn't expect. What I thought was just going to be a regular Trump victory lap. He brought in so many countries to celebrate this. Why? Because they made it happen? Nope. But because he needs them to make what needs to happen next happen. Very smart. Very smart. Now, why is that hard to say? Because in our politics, you cannot recognize the other side. It is like saying Hitler has a nice haircut. You can't do it. And that's why we're dying. That is the poison. Not here. Not News Nation. Here, we do not take a side. I attack the idea of sides.
So you cannot recognize the other side. It's like saying Hitler has a nice haircut. And Cuomo admits the poison killing our politics. And Democrats can't acknowledge Trump's triumph. And Bill O'Reilly breaks down the global chess game Trump just won. This isn't about just Gaza. It's about cornering China and ending the Ukraine war. Take a look.
Trump now wins over the entire Arab world. They're all behind the United States. Huge to fight terrorism. But here's the most important point for News Nation viewers tonight. You'll get this nowhere else. Donald Trump's power worldwide has just increased about 1,000%. But he's going to Korea to talk to Xi. Xi and the Chinese know that he has the Arab world and the Middle East on his side. China needs the Middle East, even though they're temporarily buying oil from Russia, okay, and Iran. They need the Middle East. They can't afford to alienate the Arab nations. All right. But Trump's going in with a big advantage, and he's looking at Xi and he's saying, listen, the whole world is now coalescing around the United States. NATO, EU, Middle East, you got to get on board. You got to stop all this stuff and become a partner with the USA for world peace and prosperity. That's what I did in May. That's why I was in Beijing, to lay that groundwork. If Xi does that, and I believe he will because the Chinese economy is going south faster than New Yorkers are getting out of the city going to Florida, okay? I think she's looking for a way. But part of the negotiation is going to be, you, China, got to get out of the Putin business.
Right.
OPEC will replace the Russian oil. But you have to stop supporting Putin to end the Ukrainian war. That's the deal that is going to emerge. And that's the importance. It is all linked together.
I'll give you one more. The
China,
Ukraine. I'll give you one more.
So Trump now has the entire Arab world behind America. China needs the Middle Eastern oil. It's plain and simple. The deal is Trump, dump Putin, get OPEC oil, help end Ukraine. It's all masterful. And ABC's chief correspondent can't hide his awe at Trump's command of the world stage. Watch him admit what we're all seeing real time. Take a look.
I think today what I've been mostly struck by is Donald Trump's sheer force of personality. There are not many men, not many leaders who can walk into the Knesset in Israel to such rapturous applause, such a warm welcome, to clearly know so many members of the Israeli leadership.
And it took ABC News 10 years to figure out Trump's got a great personality, wonderful energy, and most people actually like the guy? Come on. You guys geez, come on.
Personally, he's been in the weeds on this, and then less than an hour later, appear in a room of world leaders, Arab and Muslim leaders, and have the same kind of warm welcome. It really is his force of nature which has managed to make this happen. I mean, I was struck that he was standing on that stage here in Sharm el-Sheikh, welcoming world leader after world leader, many of whom he's had his disagreements with, as we know.
Because they know American power and American strength is what's keeping this world together. It's what ABC News, NBC, and all the other BC corporations and the three-letter fake news agencies don't get. We are keeping the world together through strength, Trump's strength, our military strength, and Marco Rubio.
It wasn't President Sisi of Egypt doing that. It was him. He is front and center here. His force of will, he has said what he wants to happen. He's laid out this 20-point plan. The objectives are very clear.
I'm glad he finally said it, that his force of nature made this happen. Walking into the Knesset to rapturous applause and Arab leaders an hour later with the same warm welcome. Nobody else can do this. It's Trump. I'm not surprised. I knew he can do this because he leads with strength. And Treasury Secretary Besson calls it the greatest day of the century. And he's right. Watch his powerful testimony. Take a look.
Yesterday, I believe, was the greatest day thus far this century. With the hostages coming home, the beginning of the peace process, which no one said could be done, and President Trump did it. But there were people out there with that venom and vile behavior. And then every Saturday, you look and there are these collegiate football games and military flyovers and people waving the flag, and it's almost like we're in a contest for America. And Charlie was determined that good was going to win. That we were going to see the light, and it was going to be through faith and education and belief in family and country, and everything that got us here for the first 250 years is what's going to take us for the next 250 years.
Scott Besson just said it perfectly. The greatest day thus far this century. Hostages are home, peace processes have begun, and Trump did what everybody said was impossible. Even establishment foreign policy experts, like, the people that are trying to undermine his administration 24/7, they even admitted Trump deserved this victory lap. Watch this admission. They were saying it through gritted teeth. It's so beautiful. Watch.
I think the president does deserve to take a victory lap, considering what has been accomplished today. The release of the last 20 remaining hostages who were alive, are alive in Gaza. The cessation of hostilities for now. The flowing in of much needed assistance into Gaza. These are important milestones.
Let me know in the comments if you guys appreciate this leftist media outlets actually acknowledging how great of a job our president is doing. And the last 20 hostages were released, hostilities were ceased, aid was flowing, and important milestones, she says. And that's called complete victory, guys. To anybody else, that's complete victory. And Speaker Johnson announces a campaign to give Trump what he deserves, the Nobel Peace Prize. World parliaments are mobilizing. Take a look.
My point when I say I'm not going to be apocalyptic, it's not changing a tune. It's not making every single thing a 5-alarm fire. Yeah. If he does good, if he gets the Israeli hostages out, I promise I will wear a MAGA hat for one day on the show and say, thank you for doing it. Yeah. She'll knock it right off my head.
Okay, if she does that, we're going to make shirts with her face on it. Please do this. Please.
But you have to be able to cheer for wins when they happen and then call out relentlessly the wrongdoing.
Too bad you guys haven't followed that policy for the last 10 years. But anyways, nobody has ever deserved that prize more. That is an objective fact. Saving lives, pursuing peace with determination and success no president has matched. And remember when Alyssa Farah Griffin promised to wear a MAGA hat if Trump got the hostages back? She just said it. But you know what? We're going to maybe play it again tomorrow on a different show. But she promised on The View that one day a MAGA hat to thank Trump. We're waiting, Alyssa. Keep your word. And I promise you guys, we're going to make a shirt with it. We're going to put it up on banners, make X posts, and it's going to be wonderful. We're going to have a great time with it. And Patrick Bet David nails why Democrats are losing their minds over Trump's triumph. This is the greatest redemption story in American history. Take a look. Now, give us 1 second. We're loading the clip here.
I think today what I've been mostly struck by is Donald Trump's sheer force of personality. There are not many men, not many leaders who can walk into the Knesset in Israel to such rapturous applause, such a warm welcome, to clearly know so many members of the Israeli leadership so personally. He's been in the weeds on this, and then He's been in the weeds because your polling sources say different. You guys have paid people. You have horrible pollers. You have horrible things that are going on. An hour later, appear in a room of world leaders, Arab and Muslim leaders, and have the same kind of warm welcome. It really is his force of nature which has managed to make this happen. I mean, I was struck that he was standing on that stage here in Sharm el-Sheikh, welcoming world leader after world leader, many of whom he's had his disagreements with, as we know. And it wasn't President Sisi of Egypt doing that. It was him. He is front and center here. His force of will, he has said what he wants to happen. He's laid out this 20-point plan. The objectives are very clear.
So tell me a better story of redemption in the last 100 years, from political persecution to peace deals. Who else has done this? The bar for 2028 is now impossibly high. So if you got value from this report, please tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is what winning looks like, guys, because I know we haven't been used to it under the Biden administration. And while Democrats are shutting down the government to fund gay pride parades in Eastern Europe and like locusts in Egypt or whatever, it's insane. Trump just rewrote the Middle East map. And while they demand millions of dollars for African feminism, he's bringing home hostages and forcing terrorists to surrender. And the contrast, it couldn't be clearer. They destroy, and guess what? Trump, he does what he does best. He's building. They're dividing, and he's uniting. They weaken America. He makes us unstoppable. And world leaders are organizing to give him the Nobel Peace Prize because they recognize what Democrats refuse to admit, that this is historic leadership. From the Knesset and Arab capitals, from freed hostages to disarming Hamas, Trump's doing what Biden couldn't dream of accomplishing, more than, standing up and forming a full sentence. And he's using this victory to checkmate China on Ukraine. So here's my question for you in the chat. Does Trump deserve the Nobel Peace Prize more than Obama ever did? Let me know yes or no in the comments. And if, folks, this is American greatness restored. The establishment cannot stop it. And check out our merch shop and celebrate this victory.